Have you ever stayed home alone for the very first time? Maybe you were excited. Maybe you thought it would be fun. Watch some movies, eat snacks, no rules for a night. That's exactly what I thought. Until that night changed everything. It was the first Saturday of summer break. My parents had to attend a wedding out of town. I was 14, and they asked if I'd be okay alone for the night. I laughed and said, I'm practically an adult. What's the worst that could happen? They left around noon. I remember standing at the door, waving as their car disappeared down the street. I turned around and grinned to myself. Freedom. I blasted music, danced around the living room, ordered a large pepperoni pizza, and spent hours glued to my screen playing video games. I even ate ice cream straight from the tub, just because I could. It was perfect. I even called my friend and said, dude, this is the life. The day flew by. As the sun began to set, the house grew quiet. Still, nothing felt out of the ordinary. I curled up on the couch with a blanket, watching a comedy show, and eventually dozed off. When I opened my eyes again, everything was different. The TV was still on, but playing static. No picture, no sound, just the low hum of white noise. My phone screen said 2:17 a.m. It was freezing. I sat up, dazed, and rubbed my eyes. Then I noticed something. The front door was open. Just barely. But enough for the wind to push it back and forth, making a soft creaking sound that sent a chill down my spine. I stood there, staring. Had I really forgotten to lock it? Panic surged through me. I rushed over, slammed it shut, and twisted the lock until I heard that loud, satisfying click. Then I went around the house. Locked the back door. Checked every window. Pulled all the curtains shut. My heart was still racing, but I told myself everything was okay. I sat back down, hugging my knees, trying to calm down. That's when I heard it. A soft creak, from upstairs. It was the sound the wooden step makes. The one that always groans when someone steps on it. I stared at the staircase. It was dark. Silent. Still, but I could swear I just heard something. Maybe the house is settling, I whispered to myself. But even I didn't believe it. Then I heard it again. This time, from the kitchen, tap. 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 It sounded like metal. Like someone lightly tapping a spoon against the countertop. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and tiptoed into the kitchen. Empty. Nothing moved. I checked the counters, the floor, and that's when I saw it. Footprints. Muddy. Fresh, leading from the back door, across the kitchen floor. They weren't mine. My throat tightened. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. I followed the prints with my eyes. They disappeared into the hallway, then up the stairs. No. No. I couldn't go up there. I wouldn't, but I did, one step. Then another, halfway up, I heard it. Breathing. Heavy. Ragged, coming from my room. My phone suddenly glitched. The flashlight blinked and died. I stumbled back down, blinded, heart hammering in my chest. I ducked into the guest room and slammed the door behind me, locking it fast. I hid under the bed. My breaths came in short gasps. I tried to hold them in, then I heard it, footsteps. Slow. Dragging. Coming down the hallway. They stopped right outside the door. Knock. Knock, a pause, knock. Knock, the handle turned. I squeezed my eyes shut. The door creaked open. I know I locked it. I know I did, but it opened anyway. I didn't dare look. All I could see were feet. Bare. Rotten. Skin flaking off in chunks. The toes. One was broken. I could see bone. And dried blood. They stepped into the room. The stench hit me. Like something dead. Something buried for days, then dug up, then. I heard it breathe, not above me. Not beside me, but under the bed, with me. The air turned cold. My skin crawled. Then came a whisper, I see you. I couldn't move. Couldn't scream. Couldn't even blink, then. I felt something wet brush against my cheek, a hand. I screamed. I bolted out from under the bed, sprinted down the hallway, down the stairs. My foot slipped on the bottom step and I crashed into the floor, but I didn't stop. I grabbed the landline and dialed the only number I could remember. My neighbor. Help me, I shouted. Someone's in the house. I heard them say something, but I couldn't hear what. Everything was spinning. A minute later, Headlights through the window, they burst through the door, but the house was empty, no footprints, no open windows, no rotting smell. Just me. And my broken voice. They didn't find anyone. My parents rushed home that morning. They thought I'd had a nightmare. Maybe I dreamed the whole thing, but I remember everything. The footprints. The whisper. The skin. For weeks, I couldn't sleep. One night, I woke up, not from a nightmare, but because of a sound, soft scratching, outside my bedroom door. I sat up. My heart stopped, because just outside were muddy footprints, leading to my door, and stopping there. I didn't open it. I never stayed home alone again, and I never will, because some doors, once opened, can never truly be closed.
Have you ever felt like your house was too big for just one person, like, every sound echoes? Every shadow stretches too long. Every second feels like something's watching. I never believed in haunted houses, until I stayed alone in mine. It was a Saturday evening. My parents were invited to a family friend's get-together across town. They promised they'd be back by midnight. I was used to being alone for a few hours, but never this late. I was scared, yeah. But I didn't want to seem like a baby. Around 6 p.m., they left. My dad said, "We'll be back by 12. Don't worry, just lock the doors and stay inside." I nodded. I didn't want them to know how nervous I really was, at first. I tried to distract myself. I called my best friend, Jake. "Dude, you're home alone. That's sick. Let's do something spooky." I laughed nervously. "No way. I'm not watching horror stuff alone. I'll freak out." "Don't be a baby, man. Invite Ryan too. Let's play some games, then a horror movie. It'll be fun." They came over by 7. We played video games for about 2 hours, and I was feeling better. With friends around, the house didn't seem so big or empty, but then came the movie. They convinced me to watch this creepy film about haunted dolls or something. I honestly wasn't paying much attention. I was too busy checking the locks again and again. At around 11, both of them got a call from their parents. Emergency. They had to leave. Ryan said, "We'll come tomorrow. You'll be fine. Don't overthink, okay?" I didn't say much. Just nodded and waved as they left, and then it was just me, alone. The silence hit me like a wave. The house creaked and groaned like it was breathing. And it was cold. So cold, I made sure all the doors and windows were locked. Lights on in every room. Even the bathroom, but there was one place I avoided, the basement. It was always creepy. Dim lighting. Old furniture covered in cloth. And this giant, ancient painting hanging on the far wall. It was a painting of an old church, with a man standing near the entrance. Black coat. Old-fashioned hat. Almost like he didn't belong in this time. My dad once said the painting was over 100 years old. A gift from some great uncle. I never liked it. I tried to ignore it. Made some noodles. Ate while watching cartoons, hoping it would help me forget the horror movie. But around 1 a.m., the house changed. I heard a soft knock. Not at the front door, from the floor. I muted the TV. There it was again. Knock. Knock. Knock, coming from beneath me, from the basement. I told myself maybe it was pipes. Or the water heater. Or the wind, but then I heard something roll. Like a ball. Or something being dragged. I tiptoed to the basement door. It was closed. Locked. I stood there, heart racing, hand on the doorknob, and then, the knob turned, on its own. I stumbled back, gasping, but the door didn't open. I didn't know what to do. I called Jake. He didn't pick up. Ryan's phone was off, so I turned up the volume on the TV, curled up on the couch, and told myself to stay awake, but I didn't. I woke up suddenly. The TV was off. The power was out, and the basement door was wide open, pitch black, no sound. Just a horrible, heavy presence in the air. I grabbed a flashlight and pointed it at the stairs. The beam barely reached the bottom. I told myself. Just close the door. Just shut it. I walked over, slowly, heart pounding like a drum. As I reached out, I saw something at the bottom. Movement, a shape, a person. No. It didn't move like a person, it twitched. Like a puppet. Limbs jerking at odd angles. I slammed the door shut and locked it, ran back to the couch. Covered myself with a blanket like it was armor, then the scratching started, from under the floorboards, then the lights flickered. Came back on, I looked toward the basement door, it was closed again. But something was wrong. I ran to my parents' room and locked the door behind me. Hid in the closet, I must have fallen asleep, because I woke up to sunlight pouring through the window. The house was silent. Normal. I slowly came out, everything was where it should be, except the basement door, still locked. I walked toward it. My hands shaking, I opened it slowly, light was streaming through the basement window, everything was still, and then I saw the painting. The man was gone, only the church remained. The painting was dusty. Old. Cracked, but where the man once stood, there was just empty space. I blinked, looked again, gone. My parents came home later that morning. Said they stayed overnight with family because of a storm. I told them nothing, they wouldn't believe me, but I know what I saw, and at night, when the house creaks just right, I still hear footsteps, coming from beneath, from the basement, and sometimes I swear I see a shadow in the hallway, wearing a black coat, and an old-fashioned hat.